What's good, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Budokai here. No longer known as Brick Johnson. Changed the name, thought it'd fit better with the channel, and me going for more of an anime vibe here. So that's it. I doubt I had anyone that really remembers my name being Brick Johnson anyway from clicking on this video. So let's just get right into it. 2024 is looking like it'll be a big year for anime games. We got things like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash, Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, and two games that came out last year, Ultra Ninja Storm Connection and My Hero Ultra Rumble, which is also another game that came out towards the later half of the year, but I did want to add it on since it was an anime game going into the year here. I think 2024 has the potential to be one of the greatest years for anime games, but I do feel like anime games have a unique problem when it comes to them, and is that a lot of them feel kind of the same and kind of empty. And what I mean is that when an anime game comes out and when it first drops, that first month, everyone is loving it. Everyone's playing it, everyone's uploading videos on it, everybody's talking about it. But then as the time goes on, the player base begins to realize that this game is not as great as they put it out to be. It doesn't really have a lot of depth, and it starts to get really boring really fast. And on top of these games having those problems, these games usually have issues where they tend to release without big features that are almost a standard to this day when it comes to gaming, like the ability to have a private lobby or even something as simple as a rematch button. When these games have problems like this, it seems that the developers are aware of it, but then it takes them months, if not sometimes years, to even implement these changes that the community so desperately needs. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm a master game developer or anything, and I know a lot of things could be the problem to when it affects the developers and the way they can get these patches out, such as upper management and a lot of other games that they may be working on. But that doesn't change the fact that these patches are very crucial to whether or not the game stays relevant and alive. Some of these problems can make getting to the fun part of the game, if it's something the players still enjoy, very tedious. And then on top of that, with the game feeling less and less fun over time, you can see how this is a fast track to have a dead game within a month or two, maybe 3 if you're lucky. Now, if you remember the 5 or so games that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the ones I feel like could suffer from these kind of problems the most is really all of them have a chance to. I do have hope for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero because, I'm a #1 Dragon Ball fanboy here. And Dragon Ball games can tend to be a step above the rest, much like Naruto games can be. But we see the problems that Connection has, and they fall into one of the 2 buckets I mentioned earlier, and that is that it needs some features that are desperately needed for the game to stay alive into the year of 2024. Now, when Dragon Ball Sparking comes out, I'm not sure whether or not it will be affected by some of these problems. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but we all are holding out hope here, I hope. When it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen and Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, I really want both of these games to be great. But if I'm being honest, I'm kind of expecting these games to fall into one of the 2 buckets that I said earlier, because that's just what we've been getting from these past 5 or 10 years almost when it comes to anime game. Now we can go ahead and look at the developers that are making the Curse Clash and an Impact and see what games they made before and what are the chances are of this actually happening again, or do we have a great chance of these games being a great piece of work and an amazing game throughout all the year of 2024. Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash is being developed by King and Gem Drops Inc., as we see here. And if you look at the games that they've developed before, this is what we see. We got Gunslinger Stratos 1 and 2, and My Hero's Justice 1 and 2, or My Hero's One's Justice 1 and 2 here. Those are great signs, My Hero's One's Justice is a good anime fighting game. It's not bad. It's not one of the horrible ones that we've seen in the past. It's got a sequel, which is always great. And, when anime games get a second one, most of the time, that means the first one was worth it to get a second one. This Gunslinger game, never heard of, but, it does look anime-esque, which is all right. Can be a good sign there as well. If you come over here, Gem Drops Inc., I've made games I've never heard about before. Now we got Star Ocean. I've heard of Star Ocean. This is an old franchise, I'm pretty sure, from back in the PS2 days, maybe even before then. Here's just Kaisen Curse Clash, but not really seeing too many stuff here on this side of the developers that shows that they can make a game like Jujutsu Kaisen. Maybe these 2 games, this Kogan Sword Rewind and this Crystar, maybe show a little bit, but they just look anime-esque as well, and not too much like fighters. Okay, action role-playing fighting games. See, look, that's great, right? So we go back here and we look at My Hero's One's Justice. Now, My Hero's One's Justice I haven't played too much of, but I played the first one pretty good game. You know, it's a solid anime fighter. Never got around to playing the second one. Just didn't have anyone that was really looking forward to playing it. Not going to be playing that by myself. But, you know, it was a good game overall. But, you know, when anime games, character balance is a really big deal. So I'm not sure if I'll have too much confidence on how well they'll be able to balance these characters when it comes to just Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash game. I'm really hoping we don't see 2 or 3 characters just are absolutely broken and just take over the entire game. Now, if you guys know how well balanced the My Hero games are, at least especially One's Justice 2, since that's the newest one, please let me know down below. But right now, I'm just thinking it can make a good base for a game, but we're going to have to see about how well the characters play and, you know, if some characters are even playable or worth it to even pick up the controller and try and play with. You know, some characters might just be so bad, you're just auto losing at that point. But those are most certainly things we're going to have to look into and see when the game drops. And I'll most definitely be doing stuff on that when the game comes out in a little under a month. So stay tuned for that. And then I go over here and I'm looking up Hunter Nen Impact. And as you can see, I mean, this game is so recently announced that there's not even like that basic Google page here where it tells you the game and gives you the release date and even the developer on it. So we got to do a little bit of digging, and it looked like I was able to find that it was made by Hiding. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Don't care. But, you know, if you're already looking here, they've made some great games. Honestly, it's put a lot of faith for me when it comes to this 100x100 game. I'm honestly surprised that these are the people making it. I didn't know until I looked it up today. So this is actually awesome. I heard rumors that it was them. I was like, let me check. But by them, I mean the guys that made Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, excuse me there. But they've also made games like Battle Stadium Dawn, this weird ass Smash Brothers Shonen Jump game. If you've ever seen it, look up videos on it. If you haven't, it's very interesting. Then we have games like, if you keep scrolling back here, this Zatch Bell game, you know, an anime 2D fighter here. Played it when I was an absolute baby. I don't even remember this game was good. Not an absolute baby. I was a child. I don't remember this game was good. I think it was kind of bad. It was one of those PS2 games. But they made Clash of Ninja 1 and 2. You know, Clash of Ninja is a beloved Naruto fighting game there. So that put some good hopes for me. Clash of Ninja, and honestly, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is really all I need to say. I have some faith in this game being something that's going to be good here in the future. Now, we don't know a lot about this game, and we don't even have any gameplay on it yet, but I am hopeful because of the people that are making the game. Their track record seems really good. So we're just going to have to see how they'll translate the Nen world and the 100x100 world into the way they want the game to play. Whether or not we're going to see 3 people on the field all at the same time, or if we're going to see 3 people on a team switch out 1v1v1, if you get what I'm saying there, like almost Dragon Ball FighterZ-esque. It's really going to depend on what route they decide to take this game. But I'll do another video solely on this game once we get more information on that in the future. So stay tuned for that as well. We got a lot coming out this year, so hopefully a lot of videos from me as well. Now wrapping up this video, I honestly think these anime games can have a very bright future if they don't fall down the same anime game routes that most of these games do. You know, once the game is hyped, they just got to support it. Get the stuff out there for the game to be relevant and to stay alive. Get the features the game need and patch it and stay on top of it like most developers are nowadays, or need to be. You know, like if you want a great game and you gotta prove to the anime community that you just don't make cash grabs out here. Because most of the time when we get these anime games, you know, they support it for like enough to get the money from the paid DLC. Like games I'm not going to mention. Once the DLC is over, they just abandon the game. On to the next one. Don't care. Don't even remember the game that even existed. So hopefully this could be start of a new era of anime games where they're more than just a cash grab. I'm really hoping it is. So tell me guys what you think down below. These games should be looking good, at least in my opinion. Let me know how you feel about the Jujutsu Kaisen game. A lot of people are saying it already looks bad. For me, I'm just waiting to play it. I really just gotta wait to play it. But tell me what you think down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I'll see you later. It's your boy Jay Budokai, and I'm out.